And we're live once again. It is Cooking with Carl. Today, we will be making coconut macaroons and loaded French fries. Two different kinds of loaded French fries. One for my father, one for me. If you are in the Discord beforehand, you know that you can bring whatever you want to put on it. But I will be demonstrating two different kinds, how my father and I have requested them. So, first things first, what we're going to do today is we're going to start on the coconut macaroons. Put those in the oven, and then while those are cooking, we'll do the French fries. And then hopefully, once we're done with the French fries, it'll be close to done with the coconut macaroons. We can take those out and see how they come out. And as always, with Cooking with Carl, I will be doing each recipe twice. So if you join in the middle, or the first half of the stream, rather, don't worry, you still probably have a chance to follow along if you want. If you would like to follow along, you may do so, or find the ingredient stuff in the Discord. Just type Discord in the chat, and then you can find the ingredients list there. So yeah, without further ado, we will be starting with the coconut macaroons. So first things first, preheat the oven to 325 degrees. Obviously, you can't really see it, but I promise I'm doing it. I'm on 80. Oh, gotta hit the bake button. Duh. 325. The oven I'm used to. You just type in the number and then it hits start. But I forgot you have to hit bake instead of broil, warm, conventional bake, conventional roast, or air fry. Whatever. In any case, so we're going to start that preheating. And next up, we're going to start on starting to beat the eggs. Now, this is going to be kind of interesting camera angle-wise. But what we're doing is we're going to beat the eggs into a sort of meringue. And here's my mixer right here. You can do it by hand, but it'll take a long time and it'll be a pain and your arm will be sore. So, we have all of these egg whites left over. We're making a half batch right now because we're going to make a full batch later. But we have 6 eggs from last time. I will be whipping them all up right now just because I don't want to whip up just one egg in this giant mixer. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pour all this egg white in here. We used the yolks up already. Last week we were making hollandaise sauce for Eggs Benedict. Now, if you don't have egg whites separated already, what you're going to want to do is the best way that I have heard, it's kind of gross, but what you're going to do is you're going to crack the egg. You're going to have 2 bowls, one for the egg yolk, one for the whites. And you're going to crack the egg, and you're going to put the entire egg, yolk intact, in your hand, and let the whites, the albumin droop through the holes between the cracks between your fingers. And that's the best way, the generations old way to do it. So in any case, if you've got a classic mixer like this, you're going to want the whisk attachment. So usually what happens is you put it up, turn it, and then it clicks on. There's a little nub on there that keeps it on. Some mixers are just free form. They're not like the bowl attached, in which case you just hold the bowl with one hand and hold the mixer with the other. This one has a raisable bowl. Some of them have one that swings down, but this one's got a raisable bowl, so there is a little lever. You bring it up until it clicks. It'll stay up like this. Now, this is not the best table. Obviously, I'm doing this in a very cramped space, so we're not going to have the 100% best facilities to do this. But you generally want to do it on like a counter or some sort of actually good table so that it won't shake around. So we're going to start by just turning it up. Can you guys hear that? Is that picking up? I don't think it is. Good. So this is pretty loud. But you want to turn it up. And you're going to start whipping it. Now next up we're going to take the salt. Yeah, you can see it's kind of bumping against the wall. We're going to take the salt. And we're going to hold up because I forgot my measuring spoons. And we're going to put, sorry about that, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt for every egg we have in there. Now, the recipe only calls for 1 egg, but I did put 6 in there just to whip them all up because this is a big bowl. But if you're whipping one by hand, absolutely just do 1. So there's, why am I doing 1/4 teaspoon? Let's do some math, folks. We want 6 1/4 teaspoons. That's 3 1/2 teaspoons, or 1/2 a tablespoon. Which I happen to have, 1/2 a tablespoon. So let's just put 1/2 a tablespoon in there for all 6 eggs that we got. And then there we go. So we're going to whip that up until it forms high peaks. Now, what are high peaks, you ask? Well, I'll show you. Unfortunately, due to the camera angle, can't really show you exactly what's going on in there. But when it all comes out, that's when I'll show you. So we just sit and wait, literally. This is the funnest part of stream. We just sit and wait. All right, let's leave that. Let's start with the other part of it while that's whipping. So we're going to make the actual goo that we're going to eventually mix that in with. So what we're going to do in here, we're going to mix together coconut, sweetened condensed milk, and vanilla extract. Hold on, let me switch over here to the big food. Okay. I was sitting here like, wait, why is this hot? And I was like, oh, probably because the oven's on. Okay, you can see me. All right, good. Okay, so next up, what we're gonna do, we're gonna mix this all together. Wow, that's getting real frothy. So we've got we're making half a recipe, so we're gonna need half a package of sweetened coconut. Now, this sweetened coconut usually comes in a 14-ounce package from the store. So really, you just need to find a package. We're making the other half of the recipe later today. So you want to pop it open and put, about half in it. So I'll just kind of guesstimate halfway down, squeeze that out, put that in the bowl. There we go. Now, for whatever reason, the recipe calls for, in a full batch, 7/8 of a cup. 7/8 of a cup of sweetened condensed milk. That is ridiculous. I'm not putting 7/8 of a cup in here, especially not for a half recipe, doing 7/16 of a cup. No, we're doing half a cup. 7/8 cup might as well be a whole cup. So, of course, can opener. Let's just open that up real quick. I've always been curious, what's the best way to get the can lid and make sure it doesn't fall in. We're gonna take the lid of the can off, make a big mess. Is a requirement to make a big mess when you're cooking. Oh shoot! Almost just threw the sweetened condensed milk can lid down the drain. That would not have been good. All right, so I'll show you what high peaks mean. If you've ever made whipped cream, you know what this is like. But here's high peaks. It's real frothy. So we're going to leave that there for now while we make the other stuff. So it's like whipped cream, like I said. It's going to be kind of hold its own shape. And that's what you want it. And it might settle a bit while we're doing this. If that does, it's okay. We can just whip it back up. So we're making a half batch. So we want a half cup, ta-da, of sweetened condensed milk. What is sweetened condensed milk? I know it's like dairy that has been sweetened somehow, of course, condensed down and sweetened. But I wonder what the exact process for making sweetened condensed milk is. Oh, it looks like the oven. Woohoo! It's finished preheating. So we're just going to pour that in there. And now this is some viscous stuff. It's really thick. So what you want to do is make sure you get a rubber scraper or some such to scrape it all out. There we go. Hold up real tight. Sorry, I bumped the faucet and it was dripping. And I was like, where is this dripping water sound coming from? That's not good. Don't waste water, kids. And then we're also going to mix the vanilla extract in. And so we want a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Honestly, I'm not going to measure it. So we want half a teaspoon for our half recipe. There we go. Make it nice and vanilla-y. And we're going to mix that all together. Let me just readjust the camera here for your benefit. So we're going to mix all this crud together. There's really not a lot of stuff in this recipe. It's sweetened coconut, sweetened condensed milk, and vanilla for this. And then the other part is just egg and salt, egg white and salt. That's really it. So there's not a lot to this recipe. There's also not a whole lot to the loaded fries either, but that's why I do two recipes sometimes. You know, the longest part of this recipe really is just waiting for it to bake. Lovely. I got sweetened condensed milk in my cheese bowl. That's great. Gotta love that. Put this over here. I'm gonna knock that over if I do. Oh, the lovely conundrum. Hey, Pokemon, welcome in. Coconut macaroons, can you have some? Absolutely. I would love to give you some, Pokemon. Hit me up. You know where I live. So yeah, we're on the latter half of making this, Pokemon. How are you doing on this fine Sunday afternoon. There we go. There we go. So all this gooey stuff is here. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming for about 15 minutes. So not long. We just grab a excuse me, let me just grab a spoon here. Rinse my hands off. I got some sweetened condensed milk. Man, that stuff is gooey on my hands. So, like I said before, we've got the whipped egg whites, right? So we got all this crud. Now this is 6 egg whites. So I whipped up all of the egg whites that we made last time with Eggs Benedict. So what we're going to want to do now is get like a sixth of this, because the full recipe calls for 2. Do the math. A half recipe calls for 1. So we're going to try to do like a sixth of this crud, of this stuff. Just put it there. Look at that. I got a big camera. A sixth of this. So I figure we divide it into 6 parts. It's about this side. So let's just dump that in here. I'd say that's about a sixth of it. There we go. It'll come out of my scoop here. Thank you, thank you. So it's using an ice cream scoop. Remember that. We're going to use it later. So I'm going to mix all this together now. Right? I am. No, I'm going to use a larger, to fold the egg whites into the coconut mixture. So basically, you're just going to pick that up, pick them up, put them on top. All these nice whipped meringue until it's all folded in nicely. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised that this doesn't have any sugar in it, or doesn't the recipe doesn't the recipe doesn't call for sugar rather. But I guess when you're using sweetened condensed milk and sweetened coconut flakes, I mean, you don't need any extra sugar. So now we got this lovely goo here, and it's starting to get a little more runny, and I believe that's what we want. Just a little runny, a little liquid, but not too much. So you got this lovely goo. I've never made this recipe before, so I'm no expert. We'll see how this comes out. Some of the recipes I've made dozens of times on here. Some of these I have not ever made before, and this is one of those which I've never made before. I've never actually really taken part of in making any of them, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we're gonna need a baking sheet with some parchment paper. Now here's a little life hack for you. I am a fan of the restaurant chain Jimmy John's, and Jimmy John's often, like most sub places, wraps their sub sandwiches in a parchment paper. And it just so happens that one of these parchment papers is the exact right size to cover a standard, or not the exact right size, depends on the baking sheet, a pretty good size to cover a standard baking sheet. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our ice cream scoop. Let's just put it in this bowl. This bowl's gone. We're just going to take an ice cream scoop, and this makes 26 macaroons for a whole thing. So we should have 13 here. So we just take this and we just kind of plop globs onto our sheet. Plop, plop, plop. Probably gonna have 13. I'm probably gonna make it 12. Maybe not even. Depends on how big these things get. I don't know how much these things expand in the oven, truth be told. So we'll see. It says use an ice cream scoop. Using a mini ice cream scoop. Oh. So let's do a big one. Let's do 3 small ones right here. We'll see how big. Here's a smaller one. There's a smaller one. There's another smaller one. We can get one more out of there. So we'll see. We shall see, folks. Like I said, don't know how much this stuff expands in the oven. So I'm learning just along with you guys. Okay. So let's move this out of the way so I can open up the oven. Let's pop those in, and we're gonna set a timer for. This thing too long? It's too long. I gotta put it in sideways. Gotta set a timer for 23 minutes. 23 to 25 minutes. So that's going to go for 23 minutes. Now, are we going to sit and wait for 23 minutes and chat? As much as I'd love to do that, I got other things to make. So, now, the moment you've all been waiting for, we're moving on to the loaded fries. So, if you're a certain fry-loving person, and if you're lurking, this is for you. All right, so I cheated. I have to confess. Let me clean this sweetened condensed milk off. I did cheat a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I did do some prep beforehand. I know usually I make sure to do everything live on camera, but I did prep a bit beforehand. I remember the first time when I had to switch between the sink cam and the oven stove cam. That was zero fun. So I did peel the potatoes beforehand. So I'm sorry. Forgive me, for I have sinned. Now, I know I'm off camera right now. I'm going to grab the cheese and the bacon. Oh, wait, no. I'm not going to grab the bacon. I'm making my dad's first, and he does not want any bacon on his. The cheese and the sauce. Tony Packo's hot dog sauce with beef. Okay, truth be told, my father is requesting chili cheese fries. Now, you don't really actually want to put chili on chili cheese fries. It's a bit too running. There's too much stuff. It'll all drain off the fries. What you want is coney sauce. So that's the stuff that you put on a coney dog. So like a chili cheese dog. My dad recommends Hormel chili no beans. He says that's good. Just for kicks, we also picked up a couple other varieties. Michigan sauce for chili dogs. I thought that was kind of funny. Being someone that lives in Michigan, there's Michigan sauce. I wonder how official that is, or if that's just brand marketing. Is that a thing people say, Michigan sauce? And then we've got Tony Packo's hot dog sauce. And I'm going to be using this just because it's like 1 serving's worth. So, yeah. All right. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut the potatoes. Now, I also have another confession to make. I will not be cutting the potatoes with a cutting board and a knife like many of you probably have at home. I will be cheating and using this French fry dicer. Now, I prefer, when cooking this, to make smaller fries. Smaller fries, I think, are better than larger fries. And the reason being is, like I've said in these streams many times before, If you cook something on high heat, which is when you're deep frying something, that's what you're doing. You're cooking it on high heat because you have this hot oil that's coming in direct contact with the food itself. When you're cooking something on high heat, the outside cooks very quickly and the inside can still stay very cool and not get cooked. But when you cook something on low heat, it takes longer to cook overall, but everything will cook through more evenly. So when you're doing French fries and you're frying them really, really quickly, the outside will get crispy, but the inside will stay more raw. So that means the thicker your fries, if you're doing like steak fries, you can get it where the outside is crispy, but the inside is literally still raw potato, which is not what we want. I'm not sure how they cook steak fries, but whatever. So I'm going to cut them nice and individually. So I'm just going to, boom, slice that all up. Here we go. So I'm going to put this on here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our cooking oil. Doesn't really matter. Could be olive oil if you want, but like, I don't know, that seems a little fancy for my to use as this. So I'm using canola oil right now. If you use, you know, soybean oil, vegetable oil, same thing. Whatever, don't matter. Now a lot of people do it in a pot. I just do it in a pan because that way everything is floating. All the fries are floating to the surface, so you kind of know like how cooked everything is. It's easy to see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start heating the oil up, and I'm gonna put one of the little French fry bits that I don't care about in the pan. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna start telling me when that starts bubbling. That's gonna tell me that the oil is starting to heat up. So let's just separate out these. So these are going to be all our fries. These are mini fries. Of course, the longer your potato, the longer your fries. Whatever. I'm not too worried about it since it's loaded fries. I mean, you basically eat loaded fries with a fork anyway. So I'm not too worried about having really long fries. I personally kind of almost prefer it when I'm eating loaded fries to have smaller ones so that like I'm not got all these long fries dripping stuff off when I'm like putting it on a fork. I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but I do. If you got all this stuff on top of your fries and there's like and then they're super long and then you like put a fork in there and you bring it up and then like it's like spaghetti almost where like it's all draining down and it's all falling off and it's just a big old mess. I don't know. You use the short fries, then you can fit them on your uh on your fork better. And that's the truth. So we're just going to wait for that. 16 minutes left on those Macaroons. Interesting. They're looking like they're starting to bleed out. Like a lot of the egg white is just kind of blorping out. That's not good. I don't want cooked egg in there. So, in order to handle these fries, I have a pair of tongs. Ooh, they're warm tongs. They've been sitting by the fire. So let's put this down, not by the fire. So I have a pair of tongs, especially it's handy when you're dealing with a pan like this. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's also important when you're cooking with fry oil like this. If you want to save oil, that's again why I use a pan. I save oil so it's like shallow because you really only need the fries to have like a little bit of room to float so they don't stick to the bottom. Um, like you don't need like an inch of oil below them because they're French fries. They'll orient themselves. They're like this thick. If you're cooking fried mushrooms or stuff like that where it's actually round and whatnot. If you're deep frying Oreos or something, yeah, you want like a pan so that it's deep, or maybe like a fryer you think at a fast food restaurant or whatever, stuff like that. But yeah, for this purpose, oop, it's starting to float. It's getting full of air. It's starting to float, folks. You can see it's moving around. So yeah, as all the water content inside, it's starting to get hot enough to boil in there. So all the water's expanding and it's expanding. It's turning into water vapor into gas. Gases are less dense or less dense than oil, of course. I don't think there is at standard temperature and pressure anywhere. Anyway, I don't think that there is a gas that is more dense than any liquid. Maybe if you, I did see, I didn't watch the video. I did see a video that was like making frobscottle, and what frobscottle is. If you're not familiar with the Roald Dahl book, the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant. You know, Roald Dahl, of course, he wrote Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and the Chocolate Factory, um, various other books, but that's probably his most famous work. But he wrote that, and of course, he writes about a bunch of fantastical stuff like that. So um, I'm gonna need to clear this off so I can put the macaroons somewhere. Anyway, sorry, I'm thinking out loud. But one of the things the BFG consumes is frobscottle, and frobscottle is a fizzy drink where the gas bubbles go downward because they are heavier than the liquid. Of course, the problem with that is if they did go downward, they would accumulate on the bottom and then eventually push the drink up and have it overflow. But like, you know, who cares about scientific integrity in the BFG, right? Okay, so that's starting to fry. I'm thinking it's about time. You might want to wait a little bit longer than this to start putting in your taters, because you want but like, yeah, because the last thing you want to, oh shoot, drop that a little from a little too far up. Start using the tongs to put them in. The last thing you want to do is to put a bunch of cold potatoes in your hot oil and then cool down the oil to the point that it can no longer cook your potatoes, and then you're just kind of, oh shoot, and then you're just kind of having your potatoes soak in oil. Gross. Dang it, it's popping out. I used a half of a big potato. I made them a few days ago where I used a small potato. Um, so it was longer. So I did do some longer fries, but again, we are doing loaded fries, so it's kind of like a French fry salad almost. You know, where you just got like the French fries, it take the place of like the lettuce in a normal salad. You want to spread them all out, make sure they're not sticking together. Spread them all out so that they can start floating up evenly and they're all spread out, and none of them are getting more cooked than the other ones. All right, let's dispose of those taters. But yeah, you just kind of want to check on them and make sure they're not. Woo! That's heating up everything, and make sure they're not clumping up or anything. I gotta start while those are frying. I gotta start clearing out the stove top so I can make sure that I have space for the macaroons when they come out. Do. We're gonna remove that. We're gonna move this, and that on the other thing. So next stop on our list. Grab an oven mitt when the time comes. The next stop on our list is to start warming up the coney sauce. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this Tony Paco's hot dog sauce. But again, you don't want chili. Chili is a little bit too runny. So, I mean, some of them are not, but generally, if you just make chili and use it for chili cheese fries, oh god, a little too runny. Look at that. That's like solid in there. Where'd my I freaking threw my tongs and I removed the tongs. Kind of need those. All right, so gonna make sure break all this stuff up. You don't want them sticking together because you want all the hot oil to be able to get in and around every single fry. Because like you can see, some of them are starting to fry on like one end and not the other. This one's stuck together. No, bad. No couples. Arr, there we go. So you want them all kind of stir them around a bit. Bada bing, bada boom. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to put this coney sauce. I'm going to put it out in a pan. Oh, God, that looks like canned cat food or something. Great. Ugh. And then we're just going to heat this up on low heat. Put it in the back there. And we're just going to keep stirring that while the french fries cook. We're going to remove the can. We're going to clean that out later and recycle it. Make sure you're turning your french fries or stirring them up so that you don't have your fries. You don't have your fries sitting there with one side facing the air and one side facing the hot oil, or else they'll kind of cook unevenly, which you don't want. Of course, it's not really possible to be able to just flip every single one. So you just kind of want to mix them up a bit. Ooh, speaking of mixing, let's turn that down even more. Like the lowest heat possible. There we go. For the coney sauce. I know you can't see it because it's under the microwave, but not much I can do about that. I could try to cook it over here, but you also can't see that. And I'm going to use this area to put the macaroons. So it's looking like the macaroons did expand. Maybe I should be taking pictures of these things, posting them like my Instagram. All right. So it's looking like this is pretty good. So what I like to do is take one fry, shake it off, put it on the plate, blow on it. Pretty crunchy. So let's turn the heat off. Wrong one. Turn the heat off on the wrong one. Take them out. Make sure to shake all the excess oil off. The oil doesn't really make it taste better. Hey, Harlequin, welcome in. How you been? Is this the first time you swung by a cooking stream? I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Making a small amount of fries, a little serving of loaded French fries, or chips, um, as some people say. But yeah, I do a cooking stream every week now. So if you want to follow along, you absolutely can. I am going to be making both the recipes today twice. If you don't mind me asking, Harlequin, where are you from? Like Scotland? What country? The UK. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. Not so. Well, Scotland's in the UK. Oh yeah, I didn't actually name, but yes, fries, as the British say, the UKers say. So my father was very um, adamant that I inform you all. Make sure you all know when you're making chili cheese fries, if you just use chili, it can be a bit runny. So you don't want to use just chili for the most time. You want to use coney sauce. I don't know if you've ever had a coney dog, Harlequin, but a coney dog, it's also called like a not a chili cheese dog. It's like uh what is a coney dog? It's got like chili on it, um, and mustard and onion relish. I don't remember, but it's like this thicker chili. So I'm using coney sauce right now on here, mixing this up. Okay, so this is going to be extra saucy. Let me ask him if extra saucy is okay. So we got these hot fries. We got this hot, um, physically hot, not spicy, physically hot coney sauce here. All right, so yeah, like we want to say, we just wanted to heat it up, warm it up. We didn't want to cook it or anything. So we'll take that off the heat, and we'll spread that all over the fries. About half the can. Blorp. Not as thick as I would have imagined. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our cheddar cheese, and before it cools off, really quick, we're going to sprinkle the cheddar cheese all in. Oh, 1 minute left on the macaroons. Perfect timing. We're going to sprinkle the cheese into the coney sauce. Pat it in there. And then that will start, if not melting the cheese, then making it nice and soft and stringy. So there we go. That is, show that to the camera. Camera's not really focused up here. But that is our chili cheese fry. Let me see if I can get it to. Nah. Donate 1560 total to make Carl get a TikTok challenge. Nice, nice. Yeah, that's one of the few challenges I have left turned on for this stream. All right, and then I shall. Okay, macaroons are done. Let me give this off to my father. Looks really nice. It is nice. I hope it is nice. Well, my dad, we'll see what he thinks. So let's take a look at the macaroons. All right, they're getting nice and golden brown on the edge, or on the ends. So let's get them out of there. got my oven mitt. Make sure you do not forget your oven mitts. Okay, so they did get a little runny. I don't know if that's because I put too much white egg meringue in there, or what. But there we go. Tastes great. Thank you. Nice. So, we've made both dishes, but never fear. We will be doing these again. The only slight difference this time is I will be making my preferred loaded fries, which have cheddar cheese, bacon, and sour cream. So, actually, I kind of want to wait a bit for these to cool off, and so I could give them a taste. But then, once I do that, we're going to go on a little break while I clean up a little bit, reset everything, so we're good to go for the second iteration. But Harlequin, are you a fan of cooking at all? Is this something that you said it looks really nice. Is this something you might think about making it yourself in the future? Or if I do a recipe you want, and anyone can feel free to suggest a recipe in the Discord, I can make it. Of course, the recipe doesn't have to be can't be too complicated. But yeah, if anyone wants to suggest a recipe in the Discord, I'll make it, and you can follow along. I try to do these things so people can follow along. I don't think anyone has yet, but that's to be expected. Oh, hot. Okay, that didn't work, but whatever. I like that. I like it. Macaroons. All right. With that, we will go to commercial break, and I will be right back. And we're back. So I think I have everything cleaned out that needs to be cleaned out, moved to the side that needs to be moved to the side, pulled out that needs to be pulled out. So we will be going again with another coconut macaroon batch. That was a half batch right here. We're making the other half. Of course, we're using the dirty bowl from last time because it's literally got the ingredients that we need in there. I whipped up all of the eggs that we needed last time. A half batch calls for one egg white, just one egg white, whipped up into a meringue. So obviously, I didn't really want with a giant mixer that I have here to whip up just one. So I whipped up all 6 egg whites that we had remaining over from when we made eggs benedicts and hollandaise sauce last week. So yeah, let's get going. This is probably going to be a lot quicker than last time, but that's fine by me. Oven's already preheated. That's good to go. All right, in a medium bowl, we're gonna mix together the rest of the coconut. So again, the whole recipe calls for a 14-ounce bag of coconut. So this is the other half of that. Get all that crud out. And this can be disposed of. There, I'll pick it up later. Is that more? I feel like that might be more than last time. Like I didn't divide it up the halves as well as I should. But oh well. And then we're going to need a half cup of sweetened condensed milk. Okay, that's just the rest of this crud. That's just the rest of this. If we get a bit more, that's fine. There's clearly more. There's clearly more in the coconut. So if we have a little bit more sweetened condensed milk, that's fine. Because I'll be interested in seeing how this goes. Because last time I think we overkilled on the wets, and this time we're gonna overkill on the dries. All right, let's just mix that up a bit, and then we have to get half teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm gonna have to be real careful mixing this up because this bowl is bursting at the seams. All right, come on now. Mix it up nice and well. Yeah, because this is noticeably more coconutty. So we'll see. This might come out a bit more firm, which we'll see if that works. You know, like I said, sometimes these recipes I've made them a bunch of times before, and I know exactly what to expect. Sometimes these recipes never made them before in my life, never seen anyone else make them, and that's kind of the beauty of live showing. You never know what you're gonna get. I've been told my framing is poor. I had the recipe covering my camera. Couldn't see it. Should probably be putting this in big frame too. Okay. So mixing that up, nice and good. And we're going to take another 6 of this meringue. Ooh. This meringue might need some more whipping. I think it's starting to separate back out. So let's put that back and whip it up some more. Hopefully it's not unsalvageable. Come on. Get the whisk attachment. Put that back in. And let's whip it up. Yeah, it was starting to separate out, settle down. That's not what we want. So I've got an electric mixer right here. Let's see, I probably shouldn't be talking louder because my filter is doing a really good job. So yeah, whipping that back up. Good thing it was separating out. Shaking this poor little coffee TV table. All right, let's let that go. I can mix. Where'd my... Oh, there it is. Duh. I'm an idiot. I'm looking for my freaking scraper, but I'm literally using it to mix this stuff up. There we go. So there's this part. Whip this meringue up. Yeah, okay. It's settled way down. All the heavy stuff. Dang, I'm glad I'm sad I didn't catch that sooner, but I'm glad I caught it, period, you know? I just hope that it wasn't too separated out when we made the first batch, because that would have been really bad if I skimmed the top off, you know, and left a bunch of crud underneath. Let me rinse my hands off. They're sticky again. Please, please, whip up. Okay, it's starting to whip. This is so exciting, guys. Sitting here and whipping. Now, one thing that I would think is common sense, but some people don't get it. While you have an electric mixer, let me show you the electric mixer. While you have an electric mixer going, like that, like this thing, right here, do not, under any circumstances, do not stick your fingers in the electric mixer. Do not. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how tasty this thing is. It doesn't matter if there's something in there that you want to push down. If the thing is on and going, Don't put your fingers in it. Because this thing does not have a safety on it. All right? This thing does not stop if it encounters resistance that I am aware of. Right? So if you get your hand caught in there and it gets all spun up in the tool, the head, it's gonna hurt. Please don't tell me all the non-whippables settled out. It is really not wanting to whip up and form peaks. Did it take this long the first time? I'm hoping I didn't take whatever frothing agent out. I guess this is why it said to mix the stuff up and then mix all of this stuff up and then whip this. Oh, I'm gonna be so sad if this is a catastrophe. I think it is. I think the bubbles are getting bigger and there are some peaks. The other stupid thing I can do is add like milk, like actual cream. Well, we're all out of heavy whipping cream to like encourage it to froth up, but I think that would be a little mistake. That'd be a Hail Mary pass. Let's turn this down. Okay, so I have received a tip from my father. He said to add a little granulated sugar to help encourage stiffening of the eggs. Like a little bit at a time. Hopefully that'll do it. Because when I turned it off, all the stuff fell to the bottom. Because that's weird, because like coconut macaroons tasted fine, like normal. I mean, of course, if you mix sweetened condensed milk, let me make me big. If you mix sweetened condensed milk and coconut and sweetened coconut and vanilla, guess what? It's gonna taste good. Yeah, I think what happened here is I whipped up the eggs, let them sit. It became a meringue, and all the non-whippy stuff drained out. I scooped away all the whippy stuff that is whippable. And now we're in trouble. All right. I'm desperate. Let's look it up. What if my egg whites won't whip? Egg yolks will hinder the whipping process. No egg yolks. Foam won't stiffen. It has foam, but I already did stiffen. Ooh, copper helps. Cream of tartar. Sugar also helps. This is officially me panicking. The eggs aren't whipping. Yeah, I think the yolks got a little bit in there. I think this is working. The sugar. I'm just like spooning sugar into this crap. I mean, the Jaguar germ, you're a feta fanatic? I don't know. A good cheddar or mozzarella can beat out a feta. I hate to break it to you. Feta's all right. It's a good cheese for crumbling, but it doesn't melt well. It's not as versatile as other cheeses, I don't think. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you here. But welcome in. How we doing? We are cooking with cheese today. We are making loaded fries. So if you want to put feta on your loaded fries, feel free. But I'm gonna be using cheddar. Yeah, let's see. What would I mean? That's probably what I don't like about feta the most. It doesn't melt as much. It's not good at melting. So like if you put it on top, like if you're gonna put it on a pizza, you have to have mozzarella there. Like you can't use feta as the only cheese on your pizza. It simply does not work. And Michelin star levels, I always laugh that Michelin is the same company that does tires. So like they're a tire store, and then but they also on the side just have this like secret organization of people that go to your restaurant and give you stars to how quality your items are. A feta bread that's to die for. Yeah, feta. I don't have a problem with feta, but it's not my favorite cheese. I think there's a reason cheddar and mozzarella are so popular. It is just not wanting to cooperate. I might just have to redo it. I might just have to redo it. All right, I'm gonna feel bad about this. I'm calling it. I'm just gonna crack a couple more eggs and whip them up there. So yeah, I'll be right back. And we're back. Hey, Shailene Hylian, welcome in. How you doing? Sorry for going on break as soon as you popped in. So here's the current predicament. We're making number two of coconut macaroons, and for coconut macaroons you need whipped egg whites. So we made all of the egg whites at the start. We whipped them all up, um, and then they started separating out. So I tried to re-whip them, and they just did not want to do it. So what we're doing right now is we're trying to re-whip these eggs. So I looked up some things. Pokemon kind enough to say if they have any yolk in them. Yolk's very fatty. It prevents, which helps prevent um, the yolks from the whites from whipping. They said other things you can do: add salt or acidic things to help denature the proteins to have them stick together. You can add sugar to help them more sticky. The recipe calls for salt. So I am going to show you the traditional method to separate. We did this last week as well, to separate egg whites from yolks. So I unfortunately had to discard the egg whites, but that's how it goes sometimes. So what we're going to do is, if we want to separate the egg white from egg yolk, we're going to crack open the egg, and we're going to put it in our palm and let the albumin drain between our fingers. Very gooey. Kind of move it around. Oh, shoot. Yolk's breaking. Don't want any yolk in there. No yolk. Let me just rinse my hand off. So we lost some of the albumin in the yolk pile, but we don't want any of the yolk in the albumin at all. I'm going to get some paper towel just to soak up that yolk. Just to soak the yolk. Come here. Yeah, come here. Got to get that frickin' yolk out of there. We don't like it. And that's all the yolk that got in there. Okay. On to number 2. You're kidding me. The yolk died again. I'm going to get another egg. Back now. We're separating more egg yolks, but I keep failing and the yolk keeps breaking. We want egg whites. Welcome back, Shiley and Hylians. I'm going to grab another egg. This is getting ridiculous. Ah! We're cooking coconut macaroons, Shiley. Shy. If you want to follow along with coconut macaroons, you are probably late. But if you would like to follow along with loaded French fries, you probably are not. Making homemade stuff, you're making mac and cheese from a box. I mean, you don't see what I make off stream, so making like why I shouldn't have a big face. Big food. Big food. I am not the star of the show. The food is. Let's get that frickin' yolk out of there. So gross. I ain't taking any chances here. I am not doing this a third time. So see how we got all this whites in the yolks? Don't care. As long as we're keeping... Oh. As long as we're keeping the yolks out of the whites. Come on, you little booger. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now, rinse my hands off, and then we can whip it. Whip it good. If I had like a little dropper on me, little like medical dropper, I would pull some of the whites out of the yolk here, but we're good. Oh, more stuff to compost. Okay. So now we're gonna whip it. Let me move the camera so you can see exactly what I am using to whip it. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So we're going to put the egg whites. We're making a half batch, so that's 1 egg white. Holy cow, that's not a lot, but I made 6 egg whites before. Guess I'm going to have scrambled eggs for dinner. Yeah, I guess. And let's see. How much? An eighth of a teaspoon of salt. Just a pinch. Just a pinch. Just a pinch. Ah! Grab the whisk. I should have warmed this up more. Cold eggs have a harder time whipping than warm eggs. But if we start whipping it, we should be good. I've got a whole mixer here. Let's whip that. Unfortunately, you can't really see what's going on. And I don't feel like moving the cameras around to show you. Is it French toast egg whites, though? Is it yolks? I could do French toast. If it is it the yolks? I don't know. Okay, this is weird. You guys can probably hear me fine, but like I can't even hear my voice because this thing's so loud. But the noise cancellation is good enough that you can't hear that, right? Easy. Frothing up nice and easy. This thing is just blowing air. You know, these streams are fun and all, but they make a huge mess afterwards. Like a huge mess. Use my phone to show inside? I could do that. Whoa. So you're gonna want to wait until wide peaks. You know what? You don't need to see. Sorry if I'm giving you motion sickness here. That's what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna spare you all this motion sickness. Ah! There we go. Costco challah bread. Because French toast is made with yolks, right? And not eggs. Or not whites. Of course, the yolks are contaminated with whites as well. Whole eggs. I mean, these are like white light eggs. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, this is why you use an electric mixer, because like if you try to beat eggs into a meringue by yourself, it takes forever. It's almost done, and I'll re-say my warning from earlier. When the mixer is going, do not, under any circumstances, stick your hand in the bowl. There are no safety measures on this that I am aware of. There is no choke that realizes that something is caught in there and that it should stop pulling. It will keep going until your hand physically prevents it from moving. And I don't know how blended your hand will get before that happens. Especially when you're using the beater thing and not the whisk. It's looking pretty good. It's getting there. Okay, I think that's good. So let me show you what this looks like. So you want it until high peaks are formed. And what that means is, I mean, there's not a lot in here, but if you look, it's like all stuck in here. So like when it was going around, yeah, look at that, nice and fluffy. So when it was going around, it was add cream of tartar, the peaks will hold longer when they taste. I was reading about that because cream of tartar is slightly acidic, and so the peaks it helps the proteins to unwind and denature and stick together. So we're gonna add all of this to our macaroon mix. And my bowl is about to overflow, but that's okay. Well, you know what? Let's add our macaroon mix to this bowl then. I got a bigger bowl. And we're just gonna fold that in. We're just gonna mix that around. Poor oven's been sitting on the past half an hour. Hasn't been used. But the oven is at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, just so y'all have a reference point. So we're gonna mix around. This should become slightly gooey. There we go. Where's my ice cream scoop? Ah, whatever. I don't need no ice cream scoop. It's fine. Okay, so we're going to mix that all around until that's all in. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and that and this and this. Ow! Turns out the oven exudes hot air up the back. So if you put anything near the back, especially anything that's metal, it will become very hot. That stinks. Be careful. Oh, there's my ice cream scoop. Well, so I'm going to rinse off the whisk real quick because the whisk if any crud gets on it and stays on it, it's a pain in the butt to wash off later. So I'm going to rinse it off right now. Rinse all the egg white off. I feel so bad rinsing all that egg white stuff down the drain. I hate wasting food. And then I'm going to grab my pan, which is literally right here. I knew that. I'm smart. And then I'll get my parchment paper. And I was saying before, and I actually used one. I'm a fan of Jimmy John's, which is a sub sandwich restaurant. The last of the parchment paper here. And they wrap their sandwiches in parchment paper that is the right size for a baking sheet. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to weight it down. So you want to put it says a small ice cream scoop size. So I'm going to do this. These little globs here. Last time, if you were, if you look earlier in the VOD, if you're watching after, you'll see that it was like runny, and I'm thinking I added too much egg white, perhaps. I don't know what the deal was. Some of the egg white was escaping. There we go. I'm running out of room, so I might have to add some more to some other stuff. Move the camera so you can all see me. These are probably going to glue together, but that's okay. It's all going to the same place anyway. I'm not doing fancy pants coconut macaroons. I'm doing coconut macaroons that look good, god dang it. Or that taste good, not look good. I don't care about look good. All right, okay, so we can put this away. That's the last we'll be seeing of that. Finally, get these godforsaken macaroons into the oven. So we're going to cook those for about 23 minutes. Timer set, 23 minutes. Go. And that should be just about enough time to cook our French fries. Okay. Let me rinse off my... No, I don't need my rubber scraper. Let me get my tongs, which we'll need. And let me grab the bacon, which I will need. So I'm going to do one slice of bacon. So what I'm putting on these loaded fries, of course, other than the fried potato, is bacon, cheese, and sour cream. So we're going to get our pan. I need like an assistant. Or I mean, let's be honest, I need more space, but you work with what you got. So we're just going to do one, for a small thing like this, we're just going to do one slice of bacon. And here's what I like to do. You take out the slice of bacon, and you grab like some KitchenAid food safe scissors. Put the bacon back. And you take your scissors and you use the scissors to cut up the bacon into little bitty pieces. So you just kind of dangle it over like this. My food is okay. Dangle it over like this, and you slice up all the pieces. Into little tiny pieces. And these are going to be our little bacon bits. Now, if you want, you can cook up the bacon until it's nice and crispy and then crumble it up later. I do not prefer to do that. I like to have bigger pieces in. It's up to you. Both are fine methods. Plus, I like my bacon a little chewier. So if you want to do the crumble method, you kind of have to cook it until it's crispy. So that's a trade-off. And then there you go. Once you have your little pieces of bacon there. Now, I already have like an oil pan, a pan that I have oil for. Normally what I would do is I'd put the oil in on top of the bacon grease, because why not? So I got a little bowl to put my bacon. And what you can do for then is put cheese in your bowl. Come on. Put some cheese in your bowl first. You're going to put cheese on it. And then we're going to put the bacon in this bowl, and then we're going to mix it up with the cheese. That should be a good amount. Because we're not making a lot of fries here. All right, so I did cheat a little bit. Full disclosure, I did cheat. I did pre-peel the potatoes. I apologize. So the potato is pre-peeled. Now what I'm going to do is, and I also have a potato slicer. So I am cheating a little bit. So I hope you'll forgive me. Don't cancel me. Woo! And then bada bing, bada boom. You have your sliced potatoes for your French fries. So, I say this almost every cooking stream, and I'll say it again. If you cook something on high heat, it will cook more quickly, but the outside will cook and burn. If you have something that's really thick, the outside will burn before the inside cooks. But it'll cook faster. The outside will cook faster. If you cook something on low heat, it'll take longer to cook, yes, but it will cook more evenly throughout. And when you're deep frying something like we are in the case of these fries, that is definitely a fast cooking method, right? So the thicker your fries, the less cooked they'll be all the way through when the outside is crispy, like how I like it. So I'm not entirely sure how like fancy restaurants make like steak fries or whatever, but if you were to cut like steak fry wedges and deep fry them with this method, most likely when the outside is crispy, the inside might still be raw if they're really thick. So that's why I recommend you cut them to be very, very small. So that way, when the outside is crispy, you know it's good. You know the inside will be nice. Because I like my fries, the outside to be a bit crispy, but the inside to be kind of like mashed potatoes consistency. Not like that's fluid or liquid or soft or whatever, but definitely softer than like a raw potato, of course. So you're just gonna kind of cook these. They're not really going to be cooked at all later. We're going to have to deviate from my usual recipe a bit later, but that'll be fine. Sometimes I wonder how do they deep fry cheese curds? I've tried it before, and they I like tried making my own cheese curds, or like chopping cheese up, breading them and frying them, but they always just melt outside of the shell um, before I can actually fry them. So like I'm not entirely sure how they maybe they freeze cheese curds when they before they throw them in so that the outside will cook before the inside does, because that's the idea with cheese curds is if you deep fry them when you're coming in contact with hot oil, the outside fries and hardens and traps in the cheese on the inside. You fry them very, very quickly. The cheese on the inside won't entirely melt. It'll get close, but it won't entirely melt. And then when you eat them, you have this nice gooey cheese on the inside. Um, yeah, I'd like to make cheese curds one of these days, but unfortunately, yeah, I just have never been able to get them to work. So I couldn't in good conscience make them if I'm just gonna absolutely flub them. Okay, so these are getting nice and crispy brown. So let them cook maybe a little bit longer before we're just gonna take them out, shake them off. Do 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 do. Yeah, that's probably good. So I'm not gonna turn the heat off because I'm gonna use it soon here. So I'm just gonna drop these pieces into my cheese, shake it off a bit. This pan's a bit bigger than I would want, so I'm not going to use it to cook. And besides, I already have a pan full of oil. So I'm leaving the heat on so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a switcheroo here. Going to move this over here and this over here. So this is going to be my fry oil. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump the bacon grease into the fry oil. It's not a lot because it's just one strip of bacon's worth of bacon grease. But I'm gonna put that in there just to give the fries a little bit of a bacon flavor. The fries themselves will take on. It'll be very slight, hardly noticeable, but one thing that you can do that's probably not super healthy, but I mean French fries aren't either. One thing you can do is as well is um, if you're making a bunch of bacon, and you have a bunch of bacon grease, you can deep fry the stuff in the bacon grease, and it will take on that bacony flavor. Um, so yeah, I mean it'll you can do that, but I don't know. I don't know how much deep fried stuff I'm gonna do because like I don't know how I can, in good conscience, do a bunch of deep fried stuff. I want to do some healthy stuff for my viewers. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a really small piece and I'm throwing it in there, and that'll give me some indication of when the oil will be hot enough to put the potatoes in there. You want it definitely to be hot enough to cook your potatoes right away. Because if I throw it in there right now, all it's doing is going to be soaking up the oil, and just sitting in cold oil and soaking it up. And that's not what we want. We don't want the fries to soak up. We want the fries to soak up as little oil as possible, because I mean the oil is not really what makes the fries taste great. They do help, but it's not what we want. And, oil is just calories. It's just extra calories adding on top. So we don't want that. And the other thing is you want to make sure that this thing, it's starting to move, it's starting to boil, it's starting to bubble. But what you don't want to do is throw it in right now. Because if you do throw it in right now, the potatoes are cold comparatively to the hot oil. So if you throw it in now, it just might cool down your oil to the point where it won't be able to cook the potatoes anymore. And then you got that problem of cold potatoes. Potatoes just sitting in cold oil. And you don't want that. Nope, nope, nope. All right, so I'm just mixing the cheese and the bacon together, keeping it nice and warm. I might throw this in the microwave right before it comes out, like for like 5, 10 seconds, just to make it nice and melty. All right, it's starting to. That's really starting to boil. It's floating. You know what? I'm gonna use the tongs. We're gonna put the fries in there. I use the tongs because you really don't want to drop stuff in boiling oil, because splashing oil, splashing hot oil everywhere, as you can probably imagine, not the best move. Not a good situation to be in, because of course, oil splashes on you, like it did right there, splashes on you, and it's not only that it burnt you, like it's stuck to you, so it'll continue to burn you unless you get it off. Get it off me! Get it off me! Ah! Come on, get in there. Okay, so what you want to do is, once you get all your potatoes in there, once you get all your potatoes in there, hey, Shep, welcome in. Yes, you made it to a cooking stream. Once you get all your potatoes in there, the tail end, we are finishing up the last dish, but I'm glad you're here. We will be hanging out afterwards and doing a little chatting um, while we eat. So right now, we are making French fries, loaded French fries, and we're frying them up ourselves. And we're also making coconut macaroons, which seem to be cooking nicely. And while those are frying, I need to start removing stuff from the stove so I can open up space for my pan of macaroons when they come out. Oh, shoot. Just dropped my scissors straight on the floor. So how are you doing, Shep? How's life? Hot things. Heat is hot. What do you know? So you want to mix it all up. Make sure they're not sticking together to each other, because you want all sides of them to be exposed to the oil. You just woke up? Fair enough, fair enough. Because it's like, what, 11? Almost 11 a.m. where you are? Because if they're stuck together, it's potato touching potato, not potato touching oil. And you want all sides of the potato to be touching the oil. So really, in order to do that, you just kind of want to gently stir them. Now I use a pan because it's more spread out. You want to be careful when you use something without high walls. If you fill it up with too much oil, since it bubbles so much, it might go. You're a sleepy person, fair enough, fair enough. It might boil over, and you do not want your hot oil to boil over, especially when you're using a gas range like this. Your hot oil will bubble up and over and land on the flames, and guess what? You don't want oil touching flames. It will flare up, it will burn, you will have a grease fire on your hands. Very bad. At least with an electric stove or an electric range, or something where the heat is, or the flame, if there's a flame, if it's covered, if it's a closed flame, I don't really know how popular that is. You won't get necessarily a grease fire, but again, you had to be very careful. So you should see that they start to turn golden brown somewhere in here. Those are looking good. The coconut macaroons. So this is a small serving. Like this is but definitely a side type thing. at your typical American restaurant. Uh, this is like half a potato. Like you take a regular like medium large potato, cut it in half. This is that. Come on, go apart. Ah, frick. If you let them cook together, sometimes they stick, and you don't want that because you don't want potatoes touching potatoes. You want potatoes touching oil. All four sides of the potato touching the oil, and therefore, if the potato is touching the air and facing the air, it's not going to get as cooked, even though oil is bubbling up and over it. It's not going to get as cooked as some of the stuff under them. So you want to make sure you're mixing them around. So they're starting to seem a bit firm. So I'll take a smaller one. Here's one. Take a smaller one. Let me tap it out, put it on a plate, blow on it. Yep, I think those are good. So heat off. Potatoes out. Shake all the oil off that you can. Start putting them on a plate. Take them all out. Do 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 do. We've got a nice small plate of French fries. Ooh, I was a bit too quick this time. The macaroons aren't ready yet. All right, we can remove the pan from the heat. There we go. And then we take our cheese and bacon and we sprinkle it over the top. And normally, if I had another pan, or I had a way to reliably drain that oil into, I'd put the fries on the pan and put it on real low heat to melt it. But I think what I'm going to just do, I'm going to hold it over the heat here. Kind of help soften the cheese. Fries look pretty? Indeed they do. Let's check on the macaroons. Maybe they're done early. They're getting there. I don't think I should pull them out yet. They're puffing up. They're starting to get golden brown along the edges. But thank you, thank you. And then the last ingredient that I prefer to put on my loaded fries is, drum roll please, sour cream. So let's not put the lid on the hot part. Yeah, so it's kind of heating up just by nature of being on the hot fries and the hot stove. Yeah, if your plate is oven safe, which this should be, it's like porcelain or whatever, ceramic. Then you can put it on the um the stove as it's cooling down. All right, 1 minute left on those macaroons. You can put it on the stove as it's cooling down to melt the cheese without burning the fries. Ah, these are mine, so I can use my finger if I want. Ah. So yes, after this, when the smackaroons come out, we're gonna do a little BRB, and then I'll switch over to um, chatting, and we'll chat while we eat because I'm sure we all cooked the recipe because we were all here the entire time. But yeah, feel free to eat if you've got a snack or whatever. You can eat with me and chat. I would love that. Let's put the sour cream here. Oh, almost just dumped the cheese everywhere. Luckily, I sealed it. Okay, let's move these fries away. Yeah, I'd say those look done. Don't forget your oven mitt, people. Ah, there we go. Look at those coconut schmackaroons. All right, let's turn the oven off. Don't forget to turn the oven off. All right, so while these cool down and all that, I'm going to transfer my stuff over to the dining area. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. Making coconut macaroons with pecans, done in 12 minutes. With 12 minutes, I had to cook these for 23. What the frick? All right, well, I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm just shifting my stuff over to my chatting thing. So, be right back out of this commercial break. We're back. Okay. So, this is the part of the show where I eat the food that I make to prove that I'm not trying to poison anyone. My go to beverage is milk. The higher the percent, the better, but also the higher the percent, the more fatty. So, you know, let's dig in. Mm, I like. Probably could have stood to put it in the microwave to make sure the cheese melted all the way. Because some of the cheese melted, like the ones that was cheese that was in direct contact with the fries melted, but the ones on top did not all the way. I should have snuck some of my dad's chili cheese fries and gotten a taste. So, question: who's all still here? Who's still all watching? Anyone still watching actively? And if they are, what, if anything, do you have a suggestion for me to do in the future? Hey, we got the Pokemon. I need suggestions of what I should do in the future. Future. This is a pretty fast stream. Quick one, short one. Usually they go for like 3 hours. Ugh. Whoop. You know, Pokemon, I think you're the first. This is the first time someone's ever made the recipe along with me. You making coconut macaroons with pecans. Good. Grilled chicken with blueberry glaze. Interesting. So I don't forget, Shep. Can you put that in the Discord in the cooking channel? And if you've got a recipe, link me to it. Because that sounds like it could be an easy thing to do, like quick. Because obviously, some recipes take way too long. My sister's making them, and she's not watching. Ugh. Ugh. Tragic. Yeah, put it, either send it to me directly or put it in the cooking. Put the suggestion in the cooking channel, but for real. For sure. Because it has to be like, if it's too short and simple, like, boxed mac and cheese, then obviously, like, I'm not going to do that. Because it's like, oh, page from a magazine. Well, take a pic. I'd love to see it. Mm. I had someone come in halfway through and, like, sent me a paragraph in chat about why they think feta cheese is the best there is. Very strange. Ah. They did not elaborate. I responded to their post pretty much immediately, but I didn't say follow up. I don't understand people sometimes. Ah. All right. It's pretty crispy on the bottom. It's pretty well cooked, well done. So I'm glad I pulled it out when I did. It doesn't taste burnt when you lick the bottom. I like. That's pretty good. Yep, good stuff. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't try to like force the egg whites that weren't whipping. I'm glad I chucked them and restarted because these came out much better than the first time. Like, look at that, nice and gooey inside, coconutty. I got this thick boy, so poofy. Hey, Dagummy, you just caught the tail end of the stream. I made loaded fries, or chips. I don't know if you call it French fries, um, fried potato long things. Those. And I just finished eating them, and then I made coconut macaroons, and this is the last one, and then I'll be finishing up before the stream's over. Yes. Community challenge, 50% complete. We're halfway there, folks. At this rate, we will in fact make it. Woo! Steamy in there. Oh, nice. Just working. Mm. Okay. Well, of course, the most fun part of the stream is the cleanup. Horse competition season? Like racing? Steeplechase? Horseshoes? Is horse racing big in Iceland? Techniques. So like agility or whatever. Oh, isn't I might be full of crap saying this, but doesn't Iceland not allow horses to be brought on or off the island? Like there is the Icelandic horse, and that is the horse, and no horses. So they do allow horses to leave, but no horses to come. That's okay. That's the thing. If an Icelandic horse leaves, it may never return. Very foreboding. That's weird. Do you know what that is? Is that just a tradition thing, or what? How did that come to be? Excuse me. What? They're afraid that a mare will get pregnant with a foreign calf or something, and then come back and then have a foreign calf. Pokemon's a horse person. Yeah, but like if a stallion left and came back, zero chance that it would bring any different genes into the pool. Diseases. Okay, that makes sense. Um, yeah, the way you were saying it made it seem like you don't want to bring any genes back. And I'm like, you don't just pick genes up from abroad unless you get pregnant abroad. Horse diseases. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out, and I'm sorry to Gummy that you only caught the tail end of my stream. My next stream is tomorrow afternoon, Eastern afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern. Uh, what is it? 10 a.m. Pacific time and 6 p.m. Iceland time. Friendly reminder: Tuesday morning I have my interview for my Japan job, and Wednesday morning I have a dentist appointment. So there will be no Wednesday stream or Wednesday, no morning streams this week. No morning streams. Every stream will be every day, Monday through Thursday will be afternoon and evening streams. But yes, thank you, Dagami. I hope I get the job too. It's not it's not like a thing where they have 10 people applying for one position. They have thousands of people applying for thousands of positions. So luckily it's not like I have to be the best. I just have to be good enough to score well enough. So luckily that means that my chances of messing up and having it and not winning the getting the job before um, are minimal. So as long as I present myself as a charming and capable individual, which historically speaking, in interviews I have been good at doing, given the fact that I have both Japanese and education experience, I should be more than fine. But yes, thank you to Gummy. I sure as heck hope I get it too. I don't find back out until like the end of March. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be sad if I get it and I get the early departure. I'm gonna leave in like April. And I don't know what the future of the stream will be. It definitely will not look anything like this. I'm sure you will, Pokemon. I'll miss you too. But yeah, this schedule will not definitely not be anything similar to what it is right now. That's later Carl problems. Yeah, that the stream schedule absolutely is later Carl problems. That is definitely a bridge that I'm gonna have to cross when I get to it. But yeah, it definitely will not be during this time frame because I'll be asleep during this time frame. I think right now in Japan, um, it's like I want to say 3 a.m. Monday. It's like 3 a.m. Monday right now in Japan. So I definitely will not be streaming at this time. And given that I will have a full time, a 9 to 5 style job Monday through Friday, I believe, um, I I definitely will not be streaming the frequency that I will be. But it is as the gummy said, that's later Carl problems. You will be able to be kept up to date when I if you check the Discord. Always check the Discord. The Discord is love, the Discord is life. Everything you need to know about the stream is either in the Discord or can be found using the Discord. cooking streams, announcements, live announcements. It's all in the Discord. Exclamation point Discord in the chat if you want to join and you haven't already, but I'm pretty sure everybody that's here has joined the Discord that has a Discord. But in any case, thank you everybody for coming out. I don't think I'll raid today. If you like what you saw and you're not currently following, you can feel free to follow. I do cooking streams every week at noon Eastern. If you would like to suggest another recipe for me to do, feel free to do so in the Discord, in the cooking channel. If you are already following and you would like to check out some other content made by me, you can do so by clicking the links down below in the description if you are on desktop. If you are on mobile, there are type in exclamation point whatever social media platform you want, and if I have it, I will my bot will post it. If you are already followed and you would like to support the stream financially, you may do so by subscribing. It helps me out tremendously and helps me get more stuff to support the stream itself. Other than that, stay safe out there, folks. Get boosted as soon as you're able to. I am, and you can be too. Go to, if you're in America, vaccines.gov should be able to help you find the nearest, easiest booster closest to you. It's free. Doesn't happen often in America that we get free healthcare. But I digress. If you are not yet boosted, do not leave your house unless you need to. But if you do need to leave your house and you are not boosted, make sure you wear a mask. Stay at least 6 feet away from other people at all times, and wash your hands often. Everybody. And with that, I bid you adieu. Bye.